Where did you watch the game Saturday morning? Were you still in Belfast?
In my apartment in Belfast, on my own, yes. Getting all worked up about it. It was such a shame. It really was. I know people say, he could have been injured, la la la, but I just go with, Francois Pinard and Delalio and those guys talking about it. I mean, it seemed to me that all the people who know the game inside out were saying it was just too harsh. It was ludicrous, and it did ruin the game. But all credit to Wales, with 14 men, they made it as close as it was.
What did you make of this prevailing attitude over the weekend that everyone became a Welshman?
Yeah, it did seem to be happening. Yeah, no, not at all. Welcome aboard. No, but it seemed. Yeah, I mean, but I think that's whatever nation was left in. To my mind, if it was the Scots, we would all got behind Scotland. I mean, when England won all those years ago, I wanted them to win. I do have Welsh friends though who would support whoever else was playing. Yeah. They wouldn't care,
Now I know this because I think a couple of them featured in what I thought was a brilliant piece you did for BBC4, Rob Brydon's Identity Crisis.
Yeah.
And this explored how you performed comedy in Wales and also the attitude of the Welsh to you now that... Yeah. Do they see you as a foreigner now? Do they see you as someone who's left the country?
No, I don't think so. It was really more about me and having been away from Wales for so long, how my attitude had changed. And it took doing that programme really for me to sort of reconnect. But David Williams is my oldest friend, and he's in the book as well. But I remember interviewing him, and I said, if England were playing the Third Reich, you'd be backing the Third Reich, wouldn't you? Yes. He's got that fierce sort of, and it was quite funny how people reacted to him in the documentary, because all my English friends said, "Oh, he's a bit of a nutter, wouldn't he?" But all his Welsh mates said, "Oh, you were a hero in that programme."
Some text messages for you. Paul in Newcastle, been a huge fan of Rob since Marion and Jeff and Human Remains. I'd love to see him do some of the darker character-based stuff again. Is there anything like that in the pipeline?
Yeah, I'd like to do that as well, actually. So, yeah, quite possibly, yes. I would like to do that.
One of the things I found fascinating reading this was the approach that you and Julia Davis took to creating Human Remains.
Yeah.
Can you describe it? Because I think it's probably, if people are thinking, how do I get to write a comedy or something, that might help.
Well, we sat down one day to try to write it with a pad and a pen and paper, and nothing came, and we thought, how can this be? We normally spark off each other so much. So I'd met Julia in an improvisational comedy group in Bath called More Fool Us. So what we did was what we did with the improv. I got a video camera, and we sat down on a couch next to each other with the camera, and we just started talking, without any idea of what we were going to say. And all the 6 couples that featured in that programme, that's how they were born. And stuff flooded out. I mean, at that time, both of us, I think, were so desperate, I certainly was, to prove ourselves and to be noticed, because the kind of the parade was passing us by, and we had a lot inside us, I think, that we wanted to get out. So that was a very long process, writing Human Remains. There was this improvisation, and we would then send an audio recording of what we'd done off to I hired a secretary, and she would transcribe it, and then it would come back, and we would each independently go through all the pages and pages of stuff and highlight what we thought worked. Then we would try and knock it into a script. Then we would improv again and keep finessing it. And as a result, those scripts are very dense, and I think they bear repeated viewing.
I mean, that's something people could do now on phones. You don't need
nowadays.
It's like recording an album in your
access to technology is incredible. The thing that started it for me was this demo tape I made that had the Keith Barrett character on it. And for that, I had to go and pay an editor to edit it. I had to pay somebody to dub it. I had to pay somebody to package it up. I could do all of that now on a Mac. I mean, it'd be easy.
Tell me about the Swansea Camp Society.
When I was at college, there was a society called the Swansea Camp Society. This was around the time that Heidi High was popular with Ruth Maddock, So all you had to do to join this society, you had to audition with a bit of Shakespeare, a modern piece and a song, but all done in a Camp Swansea accent. So I did a bit from Julius Caesar. Oh, Caesar, the mighty Tiber was raging. I did a bit of Pinter, I think. And I also did a song. I did Hello by Lionel Richie. I've been alone with you inside my mind, and in my dreams I've kissed your lips 1,000 times. Sometimes I sees you pass outside my door. Hello? And I was in. And there was no looking back.
Can I talk to you about Welshisms for a minute? Because my dad is from Aslivera near Swansea.
Oh, lovely.
And my nan used to say, her best one was she'd sworn that she'd left something in the fridge, like normally a cake or something. And she'd accused me and my brother of eating it. And she said, because I went back to the fridge and there it was, gone. And there's another mate of mine called Gunnar who's from Swansea, and his favourites from his family. Whose boots are those shoes?
Whose coat is this jacket? Is another one. Yeah. Whose boots are those shoes?
I'll be with you now in a minute.
Well, there's a thing they do in Gavin and Stacey, don't they, where they say, where to are you going?
Yeah.
That's a Nessa thing, you know, and that's very much, where to is it? Yeah. It comes from the Welsh language, because I believe I'm right in saying this, I could be wrong, but I believe that there's, the way the verbs and different things go around, I think it's a throwback to that. I could be wrong, but I could be wrong. There we are. Always nice to hear from Ron. There you go. I could be wrong. I think that's where it comes from.
Right. Have you seen, just talking of Ronnie, have you seen the one Ronnie sketch about the BlackBerry?
Really, 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 really good. Yeah. The Harry Enfield one. Yeah, I thought that was really,
It's been doing the rounds virally. I think is it a preview or has it already been on the telly?
Oh, no, it went out last Christmas. Come on, Phil, get up to date.
I'm just... Shocking.
Dear me.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it went out last Christmas. I was in it. That's how on top of this you are. I did a sketch.
Were you the BlackBerry?
I played the BlackBerry, yeah. No, my sketch was nowhere near as good as... but it did have Lionel Blair in it, you see, so, you know. It's a
Middle East peace envoy.
Yes, yeah.
Tell me about Tony Casino and the roulette wheels.
That's the act I had that got me the job at the BBC. He was he was a Welsh nightclub singer, and who thought he was Tom Jones, and he did that Hello song. I'd first done it auditioning for this society, and I thought, oh, that got a laugh, so I went and did it. And he sang Amarillo as well all those years ago. Is this the way to Amarillo? If you sing anything with a camp Welsh accent and it works, you can sing Faith. You know, well, I guess it would be nice if I could touch your body. Oh no, not everybody. I've got a body like you.
It's the eyes that do it, Rob.
Thank you very much. I hope that's coming across on the radio.
What else did I want to ask you about this book? Oh, yeah, things that don't reflect you in a good light.
Yes, like what?
Mirrors? You invented an agent.
Oh, yeah.
And it was you.
Yeah.
And you were...
Richard Knight. Yeah.
Quite a hardball agent negotiating on behalf of yourself.
I didn't have an agent to start with when I was at the BBC, and I was starting to get asked as a radio presenter to go and host local events. And I didn't feel I could ask for money myself because it seemed a little uncouth. But I had this guy called Richard Knight, and there was a lady who got me, I say it in the book, that I think it was a thing for disadvantaged children. I mean, this is right up there with the Dusseldorf or whatever it was story, you know. And she said, so he phoned her up. He goes, "Oh, Mrs. Jenkins," and she goes, "Yes. I'm calling on behalf of Rob Brydon." "Oh, yes. Now, listen, Bobby's a saint, right? And he would do this for nothing. But I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask for a little bit." He said, "If I didn't squeeze you for a little bit. Now, I'm not going to squeeze you too much. I'm not going to ask you for a pony. Not going to ask you for a monkey, because you're Welsh, going to ask you for a sheep." And, well, how much is that? And he goes, "Well, 100. Oh, that's very generous. All right, 100 is." And I felt terrible. And then but I went and did it. And when I did this thing, she said, "I spoke to your agent. Oh, he was very nice."
I don't know what to say to that. We have a lot of questions coming in for you about working with Steve Coogan, and a lot of people. Alistair, I've just bought The Trip on DVD. It was brilliant. Will you and Steve be working together again in similar format?
No,
again from Millie Charlton.
I doubt it. We don't see eye to eye. A difficult man, Phil.
Yeah. Troubled.
Well, not troubled. Trouble, I would say. Well, there's a difference. No, Steve's... I don't know. There is talk of doing more Trip. I'm in two minds. I can't decide whether it's a good idea or whether we should just, leave it. But we were both so pleased with the response it got, because it was a bit sort of, stepping into the unknown. It felt a little bit revealing to be doing it, and the fact there was no script made it feel a little bit, we really didn't know what it was going to be, But I think we went for it because it was going to be different. It was going to have a bit of edge.
Was it bizarre for you because you talk in the book about your first meeting with Steve Coogan, and he's already big time?
Oh, I was his big. I mean,
you slipped in a demo cassette, didn't you?
I can't play down this. I mean, he was, because I was stuck doing voiceovers, and he was doing what I wanted to do. And he'd started in voiceovers, so there were lots of things that made him the person that I looked to and thought, that's what I want to do. I met him after one of his live shows in Reading, and then Julia Davis passed him my demo tape, and he came up to me in a bar. I engineered meeting him in this bar because I knew where he'd be, and he came up to me and he said, "Oh, you're Rob, aren't you?" He said, "Yeah, I saw your tape." He said, "I think you've got something." And that, at the time, really meant the world to me. To get, he was king of comedy, and to get that endorsement was such a shot in the arm.
I hope you enjoyed listening to that as much as I enjoyed recording it with Rob Brydon. Really nice to meet Rob. The book is called Small Man in a Book, and the e-book has links to exclusive bits of video and audio that he's filmed and recorded just for the book that haven't been anywhere else. So that is Rob Brydon. The Daily Bacon with the Daily Richard Bacon will return tomorrow.
On digital and online.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
bbc.co.uk/5live.